What you're about to hear may shock you. The following information is never found in the marketing of high-ticket sales, but will be learned through reality. If you'd rather not hear the truth, leave now or forever hold your peace.
Did I mention? I'm speaking from a different dimension. Did I mention?
Oh yeah! Welcome to episode 9
I'm speaking from a
of the
different
High
dimension.
Ticket Snails podcast with me,
Planet Earth is in
Charlie Free.
detention. Unlock the
And as
secrets
always,
with the master key.
my
If you
unbelievable
ask me,
co-host,
did I really wear a master breed?
Gary Garland.
What's up, Charlie?
Everything's up, quite literally, my friend. Everything is up. How's your up?
It's good. It's good. You know what's funny, Charlie?
A lot of things are funny right now.
They are funny. But this week's theme, drive and ambition, is why we do this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm. Damn right. Drive and ambition. Hit me with that. What does that even mean?
We're a minute into this. So everybody that's already watching needs to go drop ambition in the chat, right? Whether it's in YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I don't care where the hell you see us at, but go comment that. But drive and ambition's coming up this week because we teach thousands of students across different communities and things like that about how to get jobs and stuff. And this week there's been so many people that just won't do what they need to do to get into a job. They could have a job. I had a guy this week who was confused, all this shit, right? Multiple people on the team had worked with him. I met with him for 30 minutes. We got him sorted out, right? And how long did it take him to get an offer? 24 hours? 48 hours? Essentially.
And the audience that keep listening to this was the guy we brought up on the live podcast recording 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So it took me a little bit of time to get a meeting scheduled because my schedule is very busy. But the funny part is he got that role within a couple of days, right? And
the dog's out there
yeah, I'm assuming, I don't know why, but that's the life. If you don't have a dog or a cat, you're just not living life, right? That's just my opinion. Shout out Shadow, right? Anyways, so my real thought here is anybody at any age can get a role in the space. You just got to put the drive, you got to put the ambition to go do it, right? Talk to another guy. 8 months he's been in his community and it just hasn't done anything. And I'm like, why? It just makes no sense. A new thing we added, Charlie, if you want to tell them, but you could see people putting application in through our job board, even through our stream, right? But there's a lot of applications and those people are getting jobs, but then you have all these other people that are too afraid to fill out a form. Well, how are you going to get on a sales call with somebody if you can't even get your shit together and fill out an application?
Yeah, guys, I cannot tell you. I cannot put into words. You know the statistics that have been given to you. This is the first time that you're listening to this. For the last 9 weeks, I've been saying, with access to about 5,000 users, less than 30% of people even apply to roles, and 0.34% of people are on track with the applications that they set for themselves to achieve their goals. I have breaking news. Yeah? Oh my God. Gary, you don't even know yet. Yeah? So here's the breaking news. First of all, since I did that data poll around 6 to 7 weeks ago, we're now at over 7,000 users. Yeah? So we have access to over 7,000 users in our database through our partnerships, of which much more is transparently going to be revealed soon as we establish more clarity. Not to be said right now, but 7,000 users we can see. What would you guess, Gary, the number is now of people that are on track?
Well, it was 1% before, so did we make it to 2?
No, it's 0.01%. Yeah. Fuck. So it went down. It would make sense because the users went up, but something I really want to make clear to the audience. I managed to, as a fucking genius I am that knows how to use Claude Code, I figured out how to get applications live on the screen. This isn't bullshit, guys. From those 7,000, there's more than 7,000. There's close to 7.5, to be honest. There is going to be an application symbol that comes on. It's going to show you exactly live to the day when someone is applying for a role. And occasionally, you're also, if it comes up in this podcast, it'd be great. You'll also see landed or secured a role, and you'll hear a different chime. I want you to know that even though less than 30% of people secure roles because they don't apply to them, people that are applying to roles always secure roles if... There's a couple examples I'm going to bring. Story time. Because the thing about this podcast, we're speaking from not just like what's raw, what is good experience. This fucking week, right? There's a guy that said to me, like all respect to this guy, if he's listening to this pod. There's a guy that messaged me the other day. He's like, I said, what's your follow-up system look like? He sent me back basically the structure and the guide that I gave him. Guys, I give this to people that invest. If you're invested, there's the template. Follow this. Send 4 messages over the first 7 days. This. Right? He told me he's not sending message 3 and 4 because he wasn't getting responses from 1 and 2. That's the whole fucking point. The whole point is that you actually keep going continuously without emotion and discipline to make sure that you crack the code. But at the very least, you leave going, I've done everything. There's no one ever in all of my experience that has ever done everything and come back to me and told me about what we call the sanity check. It's going to be top 5 things that are going to be the culprit why you're not securing a role. No one. Everyone that decides to secure for a role, and even that same guy I'm talking about, I can see live now. I can see people going bing, bing. This is where these applications come up. You don't see the names on the screen, but on my back end, I can see the names. So I messaged him yesterday, be like, bro, this is the energy right now. What do you know, Gary? He got offered a position. Yeah? He got fucking offered a position. Yeah? Fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that he offered it. Now he's getting cold feet. There's no doubt about that. But that being said, you know, I think it's funny because when somebody does land a role and then they're like, oh, well, I don't know if it's right for me. That, especially if you don't have experience or you're new to the industry, like sometimes, this is just my personal opinion because it's kind of what I did. Take the role anyways, right? Figure out if it's good or bad because you got to figure it out. You have no experience in this. So like what may feel uncomfortable for you actually might be really good for you because being uncomfortable is how you grow, right, Charlie? Like that's just how I grow. Like, you think I got my master's degree without putting in some effort of things that I didn't want to do? The same.
Yeah, if you was to transfer the same mentality to bodybuilding, that was one for me back in the day. It's the reps that you count the moment your mind wants to stop. So someone, if you know your bodybuilding, shout out to those that know your bodybuilding, yeah? But if you know Dorian Yates and what he was good for and why there's so many people that would train with him would throw up, is because he would mentally push people so much further than their initial stopping point. He might get 7, 8, 9, 10 more reps out of you rather than 1 or 2. That is the gap of growth. That's why Dorian Yates is one of the most successful bodybuilders to ever live. We're looking at people that don't need to go through that level of like physical pain. You can sit on your fucking bed and do this. And the beautiful thing is you can't systemize for physical activity. You can't systemize it. I can't get Claude to do my gym workouts for me. You can get automations to do your follow-ups for you. You can get your applications as closely automated as possible. Customize them, personalize them, have intent, have meaning. But there's so much now, and this is what and we'll be revealing this next month, guys. Yeah. What we're actually doing, what we're offering to the market. If you want to know what it actually looks like right now, go to highticketsnails.com. Let me know. Give me your feedback on the website because it's a fucking banger. But reality is there's a system that you can implement that will save you not just an hour, not 2 hours, not 3 hours, likely 16 plus hours. And the reason most people don't have the time to get the work done isn't because they don't have the time, is they don't have the awareness of where time's being spent and how to delegate basic tasks to systems so their focus, even if you're a busy parent and you work 3 jobs, you can still get this done. I bet you still have 15 hours a week, but you can only really understand where those hours are if you work with people that can break it down with you, with systems that will enable you to do it. But at the very least, fuck, man, if you're sat there in your comfort zone, it's such a classic line. You know, growth happens by being uncomfortable. But I think the initiation, Gary, is like when people recognize in their own selves, oh shit, this is uncomfortable for me, good. Train their brain to be, this is uncomfortable, good. I started to say a couple years ago, when I really started to focus on money, the moment boredom kicks in, because before in my life, I'd get bored and do something else. I'll get bored and do something else. Then I realized, shit, I need to not just get bored and do something else. I need to get bored and then discipline kicks in and stay focused on it. And then I'll get the financial return from it. And what do you know? That's exactly what's happened. So fuck, man. Yeah. Like the moment it starts getting boring or uncomfortable, good. That's what you asked for. It's literally what you asked for.
You know, it's story time. It's always story time with me, right? By the way, that last story I did about the boss that I told to go fuck himself, that thing has thousands of views across all our platforms, just to be very transparent. Everybody fucking loved that one. Yeah. And the funny thing is, that was as true as could be. You should have saw my ass. That office manager was scared shitless when I walked in those, and she knew it too. Like, bro, that was funny as hell. But anyways,
reach back out to you. He's gonna find you now, or she.
Yeah, it was a guy, but fuck him. Anyways, so now I lost my train of thought for the story. What were we talking about?
You had a story.
Yeah,
you had a great story. It was coming to you.
Yeah, but it was about what you were just talking about.
It was about being comfortable, uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, yeah. You know, it's God, what story was I going to tell you? Because it was a good one too. Anyways, we'll come back to that story. I'm sure it's gonna pique my interest. But every job I've had, I have pushed to be uncomfortable, right? Because if I didn't, I would have never been able to get where I was. I'll tell you, I was in the job that I took with the IT company. I'd been in the financial space for like 10 years, right? I had no clue. The training when I got there was terrible, and I figured it out, and I was one of their top guys, right? Because I just took ownership and just did what I needed to. Like I'm not a huge reader, but I will tell you, like, find audiobooks on sales or not sales, whatever. Stuff that inspires you and pushes you, like, that gives you that ability to go to the next level. Like, you know, an example is, you know, tonight, you know, this is Friday the 21st. My son is going to start his first varsity football game tonight. Which, if you don't know what that is, that's the highest level that they have at a high school, right? And he just turned 15. So technically he's like freshman age, 9th grade, but he's a sophomore. But he's the smallest kid on the line. So you're talking like your linemen in football, you've got 5 of them, right? You got your center, your 2 guards, your 2 tackles, right? All 5 of them are 6 foot tall, but him. He's 5'6", 5'8", somewhere there, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? But it doesn't matter because he has the ambition and drive that he'll just beat the shit out of the guy on the other side of the, you know, the line over and over again all night. And he has that some of these other kids that are 6 foot just don't have. They don't have that dog in them to just go out there, do what you got to do, and be successful. Because I think, like, the big key piece that's missing in a lot of salespeople or not salespeople is their competitive nature. If you're not competitive, like, realistically, this space isn't for you. Just by, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not competing to make yourself better, increase sales, whatever it is, like, you're not going to be successful. Laziness does not get you anywhere in life.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I've got a perfect soundbite for this. Yeah, it's
Tell him, come on.
Get a couple of
Because it's going to be bad.
bro. Just
It's going to be bad, my nigga.
Oh, bro.
so if you know, you know, right? But like, if you come into this space, and here's the thing, yeah, this is not just game to people coming into the space. And I'll tell you some of the feedback that comes in quite a lot. Mate, it sounds like a nightmare in this space. It is, yeah, it is a nightmare in many different ways. We're adding light to that. But you know what is an actual nightmare? Staying where you are, not doing anything, being fucking like on your little sunbed, like, oh, everything's all right. I don't know why everyone else is running away, right? And then there's a tsunami coming in, right? Basically, that's AI taking over everything. If you don't have any real skills and you can't transfer them online, it's fucking over for you, yeah? But here's the game. If you come in, marketing is supposed to market to you end goals, possibilities. Now, there's a lot of bullshit out there through marketing. You don't need to be in high ticket sales to know that. You need to look at a McDonald's bus stop poster, buy a McDonald's and go, fuck it, this doesn't look like a picture. You just know marketing is bullshit. Sales are supposed to mediate and find that balance and set up expectations. And most people aren't going through. This is the thing. Most people are learning in the same way in sales. No disrespect to the industry, right? No disrespect to it. No disrespect to someone that uses a shit car. But I bet you car mechanics dealing with that car all the time are like, fuck this brand, yeah? I'm on the other side. I can sell, right? I can sell. But I'm way better. I'm really good in fucking sales. You can look at my track record in sales. But I don't get a chance to keep selling because I'm better in these other positions. But what I tell people that go into sales is like, you got to understand how this is coaching based or fulfillment based, where someone actually have to do the work, not just, oh, well, this is all done for you. So the sales professional has a responsibility to set you up for success. Now, because that mostly doesn't happen, fulfillment, CSMs, coaches, in the way it is, are often dealing with those repercussions. And what you recognize is, typically you've entered into this class and you have no idea what you're in for. And that's a sad reality for the most part. Not just because you haven't experienced yet, because you believe this is going to happen for you too quick. You, for some reason, didn't realize the workload that it included. Someone didn't take you on face value and be like, hey, look, I think what's going to happen for the first 6 weeks is you're just going to learn to use a computer. As long as you and I are on the same page about that, absolutely, this can be an option for you. Do you get that covered in the sales call? It's like, I need to say what I need to say, and then this, and I use these techniques, and then the sales in, boom, payment plan, whatever it is. I'm going to put this money down. And then they have no idea what they're in for. So you have nothing to gain by waiting around. No matter what you do, it's going to be uncomfortable. Where's my cha-chings here, yeah? Yeah, don't wait around. It's going to be uncomfortable at the most comfortable of times. And the third thing is, you can go through anyone else's program. But if you listen to this podcast, even if their marketing and sales doesn't do that job for you by mediating what it actually looks like for you, because the truth is, and you can see this on the messages, the way that I respond to certain people, particularly because I transcribe it, you can see this in the live calls. I'm so subjective to who I'm dealing with. Oh, you're going to be good. This is going to be fine for you. Oh, you're going to struggle. These are the difficulties that you're going to have. If you don't have that up front and you go through a community or a program, whatever you want to do, at least on this podcast, it's kind of a preparation. We spoke about this on the pod before, Gary, when me and you did, I think we did. When I got those stitches in my hand, like, it was like so painful, but it was way less painful than I anticipated in my mind because I prepared for the worst. And if you can come in preparing for the most uncomfortable, hardest situation of your life, but it's going to give you the greatest return, you find a balance point. there's a sweet spot in that middle. It's like the perfect spot to hit a golf ball. And if you can come in with that expectation, you're likely to succeed. I don't see how it's possible with the right ecosystem that you're in that 70% of people that don't apply. And more importantly, you've got all the base skills and kind of composure that people are hiring are looking for. Because some people are just DQing themselves. You're seeing it more, Gary, now that you took that class the other day. You see that some people just
They'd rather work at McDonald's. They'd just rather work at McDonald's for $12 an hour. I'm just saying, like, it's wild to me, right? Like, selling yourself short. Like, I'm not one to talk myself up. It's one of the, like, I had somebody tell me one time, he's like, bro, you sell yourself short. You're like, you're so smart. Like, you know, like you could fucking run half these companies with your eyes closed at this point. Right. Like, and that's part of the reason I don't sell per se anymore. Like, because I did run into a lot of issues because of my intellect that I didn't know how to keep my mouth shut, for one. I would just be like, bro, why are we running this way? Like, we need to change this or it's going to fail. And a lot of times it did fail. Right. And, or their sales numbers would drop, things like that, because you could see the writing on the wall. But I think like a good example is like, I like to deliver groceries to keep myself active. I make money doing it. Right. It's great. And outside of all the other sales stuff I do in the background, and, you know, there's other drivers that, you know, the company I work for or whatever, the app I work for just got a new CEO, right? CEO, first thing he did, start cutting all of our rates, motherfucker. You know, like, and so it technically is harder to make money, but my money never changed. Does that make sense? Like my money never changed. And the reason that is because I'm smart within how I take the offers I do. But second off, right. I don't sit and bitch about it. I don't say why it's harder. I don't think about it. I'm just like, okay, if it's bad, it's bad. And I'll just move on to the next one. Like, you know, and I think people get into their own head. They overanalyze, they overthink about things so much in this space or in anything in life. You know, did you overthink getting your driver's license when you were 16, 15, whatever your age is in your country or state? Like, no, you were super excited to get in the car and learn how to drive it, right? Because everybody's dream is to drive a car for the most part. Now, I would say most of the people at Walmart don't want to drive. But outside of that, normal people want to drive. And they are so eager to get that. What's the difference in this? Just act like this is the best thing in the world. There's money involved. Fuck flipping burgers at McDonald's. Leave that for the high school kids. Go out there and just put the effort in. It doesn't take very long. Somebody just sent us a message like, hey, I changed my name and I started applying and I immediately started getting offers. Like, fuck, it's not like, I guarantee you out of all the times I've seen it pop up at least 20 to 25 times while we've been on this recording, right? Of applications being sent, I guarantee one offer comes from those 25. Because that, like, the people that are being trained and how we go about getting them into these interviews, they teach them the value, right? Charlie, I'm going to get your perspective on this because I think the hook has come up so much lately. Do you think that people, because they can't talk about themselves well, is why they don't know what their hooks are, whether they have sales experience or not?
It's definitely a self-awareness thing. And what Gary's talking about in context for those that like, what's a hook? In this space, if you buy into an offer, it's because something hooked you in. In YouTube, in Netflix, everything is trying to hook you in, it's trying to capture. It's a game of fishing. Fishing hook. There's a line. That line would be a sales process. Being pulled onto the boat would be being pulled onto someone's company because you've invested. In what we're talking about in the capacity of mostly where we speak about people trying to apply for roles, you send out looms. Looms are software. It's just a video of yourself, a strategic video that displays competency or qualities about yourself that would make it worthwhile to review or to interview you. And the hook is opening the video so they actually bother watching it. Most people's looms don't get watched for so many different reasons that we'll leave for the lessons. But the number one thing that stops people comprehending what they can say about themselves. It's self-awareness for one. But two, this is the biggest one, because I had this. I learned it very quickly. I was like, oh, fucking hell, okay. I learned it so quickly. But people think because they're new to high ticket sales that they have nothing. So they're looking forward and they're like, I don't have anything. What can I say? I don't. Like everyone that says I don't have sales experience, and I tell you, I've had some difficult ones, but we pull something out of it. We will pull a rabbit from the hat, never lying, despite what some people are doing. There's plenty of people openly out there that are telling you lie. I'm not telling you to lie. I'm telling you to actually have skill so you don't need to lie. That's what I'm saying. But this is what people do. In front of me, high ticket sales, numbers. Okay, there's companies that are doing like 7 figures a month, or I don't know. And because you don't know what's behind the curtain yet, you make it way bigger in your head. So by making it bigger in your head, you shrink your own self and value. And then when you look behind you, even as a fucking 16-year-old, there'll be something. But if you've done anything that relates to business, transactions, human communication that helps people make decisions or solve problems, we have got so much leverage for sales experience. And they don't join those dots. And I think, as I'm saying this, Gary, a large part of what amplifies that gap is because the sales process to bring you into a high ticket community creates a gap. It creates this gap. So you've been, I wouldn't say manipulated at all, but I would say you've been influenced or strategically and psychologically made aware of what you don't have. So you invest to get it. But then when you come in after you've invested, you're like, I don't have these things. And then you meet someone like me, Gary, Bikram, Ranveer, someone in the room, and they're going to help you go, wait a minute. Here's the sweeping questions. Yeah, this is genuinely what I ask in class. Question number 1, how many years on earth? Question number 2, what have you done in those years on earth? And then every single time I'll be able to pluck something from it, but they don't join those dots. So to your point, why people can't create a hook is because they don't know what to hook. And a lot of people also get scared of being dishonest. Yeah, but this isn't true. And they downplay it in their head. Go into the details of anyone's business, anyone's. The best businesses, yeah, Apple, yeah, I'm using a phone. Go into the business back end and see the sweatshops that they use in China, yeah? No one's going, China sweatshops, buy your latest iPhone. Like, no one's doing that. That's not how marketing works. Your Loom is a marketing tool for yourself. You don't have to go, well, we use all this stuff just to let you know because we're integral. You're not lying. You just don't have the time for that to take the limelight. You don't have anything to gain by that having front-facing value because you devalue yourself. There was one I saw the other day, Gary. There's a guy, he spent 30 seconds going, just to let you know, it's like 2 a.m. for me right now, and I've been sending looms all day, so I'm pretty exhausted. Yeah, got to about 30 seconds in of him saying shit like that.
I would have stopped. I would have stopped listening and said, "Do this so you're not tired." I'm sorry. I just don't. The fact that he would send that to you, fuck. I mean, I give him the credit for some effort, but like, you don't do things like that when you have no energy. Yeah, go get some espresso. Go get a freaking Coke. I don't know. Snort a line. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But, I mean, like, come on here, Wolf of Wall Street, best movie out there. If you want to watch a sales movie, that was great. But like, your energy level has to match what it's going to be in the offer. Like when you're actually working, like, and if that's going to be your energy, I look at myself when I watch people's looms, which, spoiler, at some point we'd like to do some live streams where we review some actual looms that people have done, but with their permission, obviously. But the funny thing is that as I watch them, I watch it as I was a business owner. I think, Charlie, you do too. But I watch them as a business owner, and if I get 15 seconds in and it's just trash, I'd rather tell them, like, hey, you need to re-record this, like I did with that guy that we talked about 3 weeks ago, because he was like vertical with his phone to find out he doesn't have a computer, which is whatever. But make it look like you have a computer. Turn your phone to the left. You know what I mean? Those types of things, like simple things that you need to do to look professional, and saying, "Oh, bro, it's 2 a.m. and I've been up for 62 hours and I'm really tired, but hey, can I come work for you?" No, bro, I didn't even keep that app, dude. I threw that thing away like last week. You know what I mean? You know, it's just like when I ran that class the other day. 4 out of the 5 people on there need to do looms, and I still, now we know there's some logistics stuff there. Who knows where they're at? But I haven't seen a loom from any of them, and that's a problem, because then that goes back to the ambition or drive to actually be in high ticket sales, right? Because I hate working 12-hour days. I can tell you that.
Yeah, the simple part of it for me is what I've always defined as professionalism. Because professionalism, I think, in the collective field is people say, "Oh, that's not that professional." If you, for example, there's loads of ways to spin it, but Gordon Ramsay, for example, always comes to my mind. I think he's the ultimate professional. I think he's so proficient in getting done what he needs to get done. It comes with animation, swearing, amplification, intensity. Yeah, that's what happens when you're also in kitchens, when you're also dealing with safety. As a guy I've studied, so I've always took that as a good example of great professionalism. But loads of people, Gordon Ramsay coming up, is saying he's completely unprofessional, all this kind of stuff. Professionalism is in the result at the end. It's the only thing we care about. But all of us as clients or customers, if we go to a restaurant, we do not give a fuck if the waiter or waitress is having a bad day, right? Not to say we don't have compassion, but we weren't coming there for that. We weren't coming there for you, right? I don't expect loads, but I want neutral ground. The day and the times and the occasions, and it's maybe a little bit more sensitive to me, because I just fucking pick up on everything empathically.
Yeah.
But I can feel that on people, and I'm like, I almost don't want to fucking order anything here, because I can feel that the waiter, I can feel the bad day that he's having or she's having. And professionalism is the customer never knows nothing. That's professionalism. You could be having the worst day of your life, but you show up as a professional. Yeah, I don't have it so much in this field, because it's less difficult. I open up a laptop and go on Zoom, respond to messages. I can be fucking all over the place. But bro, I tell you now, Gary's story, when I was running the food business, I'm telling you, the insane shit that would happen throughout a work day, through a cooking day. And people still got, all I remember saying to my team at that time was, there was literally a chef that pushed me in the back. Yeah. Well, the chef that we were paying fucking pushed me in the back. And I'm like, there's an instinct of me of what's this cunt want to do? Do you want to fight? And there's an instinct of me of I'm not doing anything with you now. I've got this fucking task to do. But the heat in the kitchen. But our customers, unless they're listening to this, which would be beyond the point now, but they're like, Charlie delivers food. Every week I get my food. I get what I order. That's professionalism. No matter what you're going through, professionalism isn't hiding it. It's just understanding it's completely unnecessary to have to share that with people. I notice occasionally, very occasionally, I'll still say things that other people don't need to know. Oh, this is happening, or this. I basically make excuses. I think about this more in the boxing gym. If I go into a boxing gym, I might be fucking my muscles are sore. I'm feeling stiff today. I'm trying to train my brain to shut the fuck up. No one cares. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, if you're sparring today, you're sparring today. Don't come in with your little fucking pussyfoot excuses. I know that for myself. Right? So it's I'm saying it in that environment. Professionalism is show up, do your job, shut your fucking mouth, know your role, and get it done. That's professionalism for me. That's what I think. That's what I fucking think, Gary.
honestly couldn't have said it better myself. You know?
I need another fucking drink. What's going on here, babe? Where's my drink? But yeah, I think with this professionalism as well, this podcast is a good example for people of like, we can fart around and fuck around. Yeah, and it can be like unprofessional. Good luck. Try and match the fulfillment. Good luck with the results. Look at the screen. Yeah. But we've got over, I estimated it, Gary. We've got fucking, I can even pull up the report right now because it does it on a Friday. We've got, since November, is this today?
Yeah, like right now we have 7,450 users right now in there. Right? Like, that's crazy to think about.
How many?
7,250.
In the job board?
Yeah.
Do you know how many less, like, so for people that don't know, there's been way more than this teaching. If you want to find also my old sales trainings where I'm talking to Gary, yeah, I'm talking to Bikram, I'm talking to Ranvir, the people that are on the team now, I would probably try and find a link to put it in the description of this, whatever, but they're on Rumble, right? Old classes. You don't see any of the class, you just see me. But like the amount of hours just since November, we've done 300 and we've done over 350 hours at this stage, because I'm looking at last week's report. We would have done 325 lessons, right? With over 21,000 minutes since November alone, right? So like when me and Gary are talking, we're talking from like, that's just what's recorded on Zoom. That's not all the interchanging messages. That's not fucking for me. I don't know about you, Gary, but like, I'll do a call and I'll watch it back. I'll always watch my calls back. You know, I'm always studying myself, the hours and the effort that go into delivering more, being sharper, how to show up better. If we come on the podcast and we play fucking little sound effects.
Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. Come in, Star Command.
Yeah. This is what you get in the live call. This is the emphasis of 2026 and onwards. Understanding, guys, what has already died. You got to understand what's dead. Yeah. What's real now is what works. Yeah. Why is Aiden Ross one of like the most fucking, he's very wealthy. I know Aiden Ross is doing fucking.
Well, he's part owner of Kick.
Oh, there we go. There we go, man.
Or like, it's something to do with that, with him, Trainwrecks. Like all of them all had to do, like, obviously the guy that owns it owns stake. Hold on, I got, you know, they all own it to an extent, or they own contracts or whatever, minority ownerships in it somehow. But yeah, dude, that guy is rich as hell. Like, just, he does the stupidest shit too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never, like, I don't even know. You know, it's wild. Like all those guys, like, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't watch him too much. You watch him at all? I need to watch that other guy, but
through osmosis, like I'm interested. So right now, obviously this is a little bit of a tangent, but like this is relevant to the market because the high ticket sales space is very small. You realize, oh shit, I'm selling for Andrew Tate, right? Like it's so easy for you to come into this industry, not really know what to expect, and then you're selling for Andrew Tate. There's a guest that we've got coming up in a few weeks. He was on a Tate offer. Guys, we've got guests linked up, I think officially for the next 4 or 5 weeks. But the streamers and the people that you're looking at now, what they are is like social media is not a thing. Media is a thing. So the media is social media. So when you look at I see through serendipity, I see Aiden Ross. I don't follow these guys, but I'm interested in fights. So I'm interested. I know that he's linked to Dana White. And I know that he was with Trump. Yeah. Why is Aiden Ross getting a fucking Trump stream? Yeah. Why is Aiden Ross, why are the Nelk boys that were famous for shotgunning beers sitting there with Trump? Because they draw eyeballs. Why is If you guys know about this space, Neon, who was like, when I first saw him, he was pulled up on Tate's stream and he was like losing his mind. And Tate was like, take your inhaler, G, take your inhaler, G. I just see him with Mark Wahlberg today. Yeah, I saw that clip. Yeah, he's chilling with Mark Wahlberg. Right? So what I'm trying to make it, if anything is like landing from what the point of this is the future is where does attention go? And as sales reps, how do we get in the revenue streams of where that attention goes so we can take our fair share? Commission only, right? 5% commission on a 100K offer, layman's terms, is 5K a month online. You can go fucking Bali, live a good life on 5K a month. You can get a fucking absolute palace for $1,000 a month. Yeah, and then you can fucking get 4K spending money, do whatever you want to do in Bali. Beautiful place. Right? So it's like, if you're coming into this space, and why I'm passionate about this is because I see so many people with potential overthink it. And I'm like, you have no idea what's behind all these jobs. They're a load of fucking, like, I don't know, like, it's like Monsters Inc. behind the curtain. Yeah? It's just fucking...
It's funny because all these business owners, they had the ambition and drive to create these businesses. That's why they need people with ambition, right? Like, I know that's kind of, I feel like that was a good segue there, but like these business owners, Andrew Tate, Tony Robbins, you know, I know somebody who worked for him, you know, different people in this industry. Grant Cardone, you know who Grant Cardone is?
Yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah, I love Grant Cardone. But, you know, now he runs, now I'll tell you, his business down in Florida is cutthroat. I will tell you that. You got, you know what I mean? Like the guys going in the office, all that. It's very cutthroat. But that being said, like all these guys didn't get where they are today by sitting on their ass. You know, like obviously like me and Charlie don't make the kind of money Grant Cardone does or Andrew Tate or any of them, right? I saw a video, a TikTok, right, from Alex Hormozy, right? Whether you like him or not, doesn't matter. Guy comes on there, has some kind, I think a med spa type. We'll just say it was a med spa because it was something in the medical. And the guy's making $1.2 million in profit. I think he makes $3 million a year. 1.1 to 1.2 million of that was profit. Okay. And his question for Alex Hormozy, now this is fucking common sense. I don't even give a shit who you are. It is common sense of what you should have done here. But he's like, how do I like split the time between my family and how do I split the time between my business? Because I'm trying to grow this business. You know, my dad came from nothing, that type of atmosphere. Like I just want to be successful for my kids, things like that. Well, bro, you're already making $3 million a year. You're grossing $1 million in profit. You're pretty successful at that point compared to 90% of, in this situation, Americans. Okay. But what I'm getting at here is what he said was like, how much should it cost to hire somebody in your business so you can get that time back with your family? Well, $300,000. Why does it take somebody to have somebody like him decide how you run your business? It's no different. I can't tell you, Charlie can't tell you what type of offer you should be on. We can't tell you if you should take an offer or not. We can train you to be the best that you can be and help you navigate getting to those offers. But I can't tell you if it's the right offer for you or not. But it goes back to being uncomfortable. Is that offer going to make you uncomfortable to push you to get to that $1 million a year? Right? Like that's the hardest part of this industry is you got to be self-aware.
Yeah, you've also got to know, you also got to know how to discern. You know, there's going to be a difference of, this is a real example again, right? An offer gets presented to you. It's a cold calling offer. Now, most of high ticket sales, what they're marketing is warm inbound leads. Yeah, you deal with people that have already opted in. Yes. But the reality is, and there's no one more qualified, no one, find them, bring them to me. Yeah. I don't care. You go to all the gurus. They're not on the front end of it. We're in the cusp. We won't be here forever, But we're in the cusp, we're in the cutting edge. We're dealing with the whole entry point. We're dealing with the wormhole of it that brings everyone into this high ticket sales galaxy. We're in such a unique position, very powerful. Like, with great power does come great responsibility. This is why I think it's important to let people know what's coming. You can't put someone in a fucking NASA testing G-force machine, not let them know. You might pass out. Like, you might fucking pass out. You might lose blood to the brain. You got to prepare them for it. You got to train them for it. So when you're coming into this industry, you got to be aware that like there's this super low level of entry, right? So like anyone can get in, anyone can get an offer, anyone can start an offer. And even though it's marketed to you as warm inbound, you might start with cold calling. This is where you got to have discernment. Some of you might go, I don't think cold calling is for me. Yeah, I've done more than enough. I'm qualified for more. I can find a better option. That's there. Let's tick that box. That's definitely there. But most entry-level people that are building their experience, if you are in the mindset of like, I'm going to say no to that because I don't want to do that, you can also do that, just for the record. But the mindset is, I don't want to do that. Okay, so you're in a mindset of like, I don't want to do these things. The discernment is whether you're in a privileged and earned enough position to actually say that. Because if you're not, the mindset is, and I dealt with someone the other day, I went through about 5-10 minutes of why closing isn't this glorious sea of golden goose eggs. Because no one's in here to close, everyone wants to earn. So get rid of closing, look at the best earning opportunity. For most people, it's going to be setting. And I went through it, and then this guy at the end said, how do I bypass setting so I can go into closing? I was like, well, you kind of just go against everything I just said in my philosophy. I can give you some game, but here's what I actually think about it. And amongst loads of different things, I said to him, right now, you're showing me that you're very unhireable, that you didn't want to do this role because it didn't work out for you. You didn't want to do the dial, so you're hoping closing solves the answer. That's not how it works. Because your characteristics of what you reveal is what gets you paid for one, and is what gets you hired. If someone comes to me and I run a hotel, and they're like, you know, I've got all this experience running hotels. I want to be a manager of this hotel. And they come in entitled, fired, yeah, before they even get hired. But if they come to me and they're like, Charlie, I've got such a passion for hotels. I respect what you've built. If you need me to clean the toilets for the first couple of weeks, I'll clean the toilets. Yeah. Dana White was a bellboy. Yeah. You've got to understand how to be humble coming into the space. And if a cold gig comes across your table that gets handed to you on a plate, if you just do 2 weeks of it, get through 2 weeks of it. So now you can say that you've actually done 2 weeks of cold calling. You don't even need to say 2 weeks. Make some ground. Yeah. Try and break some records. Do the best that you can cold calling. So now that you're actually presenting yourself to high ticket sales owners with warm leads, you can say, hey, I've done this, rather than, hey, I've just spent this on training. Yeah, but what have you done? Your training isn't it. That's the thing, guys. Training is crucial. But I don't want a pilot that's just trained. Yeah, I don't want a pilot that's just read the theory books. I want a pilot that's got his, I don't know, I think you need.
Pilot license, it's like thousands of hours in that plane, right? You know, it's just like being a heart surgeon. You think that you just go to school to become a heart surgeon, or that you just could just slice some people open? No, like you have to do like cadavers and all other shit to get to that, right? It's the same industry. Like, and I will say this for anybody who's in a class that we teach, or they're in a community and they found us somehow, or they're not, right? If you need to go to a training, a master class, anything like that, to learn how to do high ticket sales, then you're not too good to be a setter. If you don't need to be a setter, you don't need to spend the money on a class. Just go get the job. Go show them you can do it on your own. Like, because you're already closed-minded to the process, right? And you can't skip over, like, if you're baking a cake, you know, oh, I don't need to put the eggs in it. Well, I can tell you right now that cake's not going to come out right. Like it's the same principle, right? And the last thing I'm going to say is, like, before we go into the question of the day, like, if you're watching this, right, you're in the 99 percentile, almost guarantee, of what Charlie was talking about. And if you're in that 99% that are not putting applications in, get to that 0.1%. Make it 0.2 this week. Put the applications in, put the effort in, because that's the problem with it. Doesn't matter what it is. Even if I got laid off tomorrow, like, I still have to put job applications in. Everybody is in that situation. Oh, I'm too busy with my other job. Well, if you're working at McDonald's and you're happy with that, then don't put the apps in. That's fine. Why did you spend thousands of dollars on a training program you can't even fill out a 30-second form? Right? That's what I have to say. That's what I challenge people this week. Prove us wrong that you have the ambition to go get a sales job in this space. Build your own confidence in who you are, because everybody who does it has some kind of drive, and let's take this to the next level.
Yeah, guys, you'll actually see that on the landing page, yeah? highticketsnails.com will immediately, like, it's going to explain itself, but one of the first things that you'll see at the top is like, here's the numbers. Prove it. Let me even say this. Don't spend money with us. Don't spend money. Go into this without spending money and see how far you get. That's not me like, I hope you find out the hard way. No, that's like, see how far you get, but you will realize you don't really get into the space without investment. It's like, it just is what it is. Like, you don't qualify almost, like, spiritually, if everyone in this space is spending money and you've kind of tried to cheap it. Not to say it can't work, but try to do it for free if you really want. Yeah, I talk about this in the emails. I talk about this, like, everywhere that I can. You can go out here and make your own mistakes quickly, but eventually you're going to fall back into, like, understanding where the value is. But all of this stuff you can kind of, like, turn into practical rather than theory by looking to secure a role online. Good luck. And if you do that, let me know. But now it's that time. Okay, ready? It's question of the week. I'm going to ask Gary a question, and he's going to ask me a question. My question for Gary this week is, it's 2026. We are rapidly getting swallowed by AI every single week. What are the top 3 characteristics that people need to work on that AI will never replace?
God, that's a tough one. AI is a natural robot. It can learn anything, right? Empathy. An AI cannot do empathy. It can't read feelings for the most part. I think that's 2. And just human connection. It's all about the human element. I think is, like, overall my census there is that AI cannot pick up the human element to help somebody in that way. It's so black and white, as they say, that you need that human element, especially in sales, to, and if you refine those skills of being empathetic, that's why I said a couple weeks ago that teachers are so good at being in high ticket sales, because they know how to teach. They know how to, they have that human ability with students to be, and I think that's why we're successful, because we're able to teach, and so I really do think that is the overall consensus of humans when it comes to AI and how to be better than it. It's hard.
Great response. Great response. I'm not even going to add to it. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil the purity of it. What do you have for me this week, Gary?
So, Charlie, this week, the question for you is, if you were in that 99% and you didn't know how to find the drive to get to that 0.1%, what are things you would do in your life to change your circumstance?
Oh, that's a fucking interesting one. Because if you're talking about not finding the drive, I would remind myself through this is a true skill. This is a true skill. Not everyone has it. It's foresight, to foresee the future. Not to get too deep into it, but if you're unhealthy, typically if you drink a lot of tap water, if you're unhealthy and you drink tap water and your body's intoxicated, you lack brain capacity to actually foresee things. Side note. But I would foresee the absolute demolition of my life, my purpose, my mission, by not taking action and changing things. So I'd be like, shit, like here's the outcomes. People look for motivation, look for anti-motivation. So look for people that you don't want to be like. Yeah, not to get too personal. But I had more people around me growing up that I'm like, I don't want to be like that. You are not who I want to be like. You are actually a great motivator for me to not turn out like you. Right? There's a lot of that. So I would start to, because people talk about vision boards and the law of attraction, all this kind of shit. Yeah, good luck. There's a clip, I haven't got it queued up, but there's a clip of the Chi Master. Yeah, and he's trying to like energetically stop the punches of the boxer, and the boxer just smacks his face in. I'm the boxer in this case, yeah? All your law of attraction shit is irrelevant to the 50x, 100x power of fuck being in this situation anymore. So if I was in a 99%, I would realize the consequences of being in a 99%. I would not focus on any dreams, any goals. I wouldn't give a fuck about any of that. I would be like, oh my days, I'm going to be on economy for the rest of my life. I'm going to have to share a plane with economy type passengers for the rest of my life. No disrespect to them. But poor people aren't measured by wealth. Poor people are a poor quality of human being. And unless you have fucking money, you're going to be around poor people. Unless you have money, you don't have choice. So I would be looking at the devastation of my consequences if I don't fucking do anything about it today, if I don't change this. If I'm content with being in a 99%, that's cool. But am I fucked? So I'm focused on all the pain, reminding myself of it all the time. I would probably even use AI to like amplify me as a poor crackhead in his own shit. Yeah, like something that just visually motivated me to not be like that. And that to me, and you'll learn that in sales, you don't talk about people's dreams. You first focus on the pain and the problem. Look at yours. Top 3 pain points in your life, why that's unacceptable for you to get that, and then understand how easy it is to get in that 1%. That's what I would say.
I figured you'd just say sit on a beach. But anyways, that was a great one. I loved it. This Charlie was sitting on a boat yesterday. Anyways, but yeah, guys, that is what it is. I couldn't have said it better. And, you know, we go into the clip of the week and come back next week. We're going to push as many people to see this episode out of all the episodes, because I really feel like this episode is what people need to see and hear about motivation. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah, guys, high ticket snails is everything. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the people that are supporting. They're in the DMs. They're giving us all the good feedback on the podcast. Guys, you've been great. You've been phenomenal. Let us know if you have any questions. From next week, we'll have some guests. Stay blessed. Let God move through you.
I'm speaking from a different dimension. Did I mention? Planet Earth is under
motherfucker.